we moved down here from Chicago when I was in 4th grade. Lived in Oliver, Illinois and went to Paris to school for 3 years, and then moved down here where my parents purchased the Mecca Cafe on Archer Avenue in Marshall, and later Raymond's Cafe, which is out on Route 40 in Y. And now I'm a physician, and I think that back then I never would have dreamed, even considered that I might be a physician someday. But the impetus for that was Dr. George Mitchell, who was practicing here in Marshall, was my family doctor. And then the other thing, though, that's really important was the school system here in Marshall. So I had that great education, and then went on to college and medical school, and came back here in 1970 to practice medicine with Dr. George Mitchell. Dr. Mitchell, his father had practiced here, and we practiced on the square in his father's original office. I'll never forget my first day of practice, because I came back on February 6th. It was my daughter's birthday. I got back in Marshall from California and hadn't been here for a while, so I called him and I said, "George, when do you want me to start?" He says, "Well, can you come in tomorrow?" Which was a Saturday. So it was the middle of a flu epidemic. So I went in on Saturday, and the waiting room was packed with people. He didn't take any appointments. So you waited and waited and waited. On that day, he saw 92 patients. And Clara, his nurse, would come out in the waiting room every so often and say, "Does anybody want to see Dr. Buechler?" Well, almost nobody did. I saw 8. And our office call was $4. I really wondered that day if I'd made a good decision or not. There was a real paucity of doctors in rural America, and Dr. Mitchell had been in Marshall by himself for several years by the time I got here, overwhelmed with working. We knew that we weren't going to be able to keep attracting physicians to Marshall, and so a very unique idea came up to develop a medical center, a unique medical center in Casey and in Marshall. And out of that came what is called Cork Medical Center. Cork Medical Center was opened with 16,000 square feet, doctors' offices, physical therapy, lab, x-ray, emergency services. We had mental health, and so consequently, it actually got national attention of what we were doing in Clark County, and we're really proud of some articles that have been written and things published, because we were actually an idea before our time. Now there's quite a few places that are similar in rural communities throughout the United States. We were able to attract another physician shortly after we opened, and then in 1974, I was asked by Union Hospital to be on a committee to decide whether they should develop a family medicine residency, Union Hospital in Terre Haute. I made the decision based on the fact and the idea that if I could be there, and we were having young physicians come into Terre Haute, that we could recruit some of those into small rural communities. And I'm happy to say that there are 4 graduates of the residency program that I directed that are in Clark County now. I'm a real firm believer that if you want doctors in your community, you have to grow your own. And I think that it's Marshall. I'm really proud of the medical care that's able to be provided here. And I think at the end of my career now, I can look back with some satisfaction.
Yargus Manufacturing was started in 1992. Actually, LACO was started by my father in 1968. And he started with $3,000 of borrowed money and rented an old wooden building out in Clark Center in the center of the county for $30 a month. LACO was Lloyd Allen Yargus Company, LACO. That's my father. When I came back, I started my own business when I was 21 years old. and I was selling fertilizer handling equipment along with my dad. And we decided to put both companies together, and we started LACO Manufacturing Incorporated. And we let some more of the family members in, and that worked for about 10 years, and then after a while it didn't work. So one day I said, I'm gone, I'm quitting. So I left. I was gone 5 years. The family sold the company. The group that bought it really was struggling, didn't really know what they were going to do with it. I came back in the fall of '92 and said, I'll take the company back, and I did. But I wasn't going to use LACO Manufacturing as a name. I used Yargus Manufacturing. So I started Yargus Manufacturing in '92, selling the LACO product line. So I kept both names together. So today it's LACO by Yargus Manufacturing. In a few more years, we'll be 50 years business. Like I said, when I came back, there was only 5 people. And it was really interesting because I had to scurry really quick because I was going to hit the ground running. I knew what I wanted. I knew how I was going to do it. I just had to get the people. And all businesses are all about the people. And we're fortunate. We have great, our people are our best asset. They're great. We're very fortunate with the employees we have. Today, we have 205 employees. Today, 35% of our gross sales goes out of the United States. My oldest daughter, Ann, she does our export. And my youngest daughter does our national account sales. My middle daughter is an attorney, but she does all the risk management. It's a family type business. And we are in a real tight area for labor. And we're really working on that. So with the school district here, we're starting a program in 6th grade and offering them to come out to our facility. We have the Lakeland Learning Center here in Marshall. We're trying to show these students that there's opportunities here in Marshall and Clark County. If they want to go off to college, that's great, but come back home because we need them. We need these students to come back. We can build a conveyor that will unload a truck a ton a minute, or we can build a conveying receiving system that will do 1,500 tons an hour, unload 15 rail cars in an hour. We can do blending that can blend at 10 ton a minute, or we can blend at 600 ton an hour. So we have a wide range of equipment. When we started this company, and an employee said, "Why did you pick Marshall?" And I said, "You know what? You can go anywhere in the world from Marshall, Illinois. And it's, you have to be someplace. And, we're only 200 miles from Chicago, hour and a half max to the airport in Indianapolis. You got great interstates. It's just a great area to live. It's great people."
I'm here to tell the story of the Clark County 4-H program, and I feel very honored to get to do that because 4-H is a program that has impacted probably thousands of young people in Clark County and in Marshall. And 4-H is a part of the U of I Extension, which was the extension program is part of every land-grant university, and in Illinois, that's the University of Illinois. And about 100 years ago, 2 legislators, federal legislators named Smith and Lever, felt like education needed to go from the universities out to the people. And so that's when the Cooperative Extension Service was developed. And there's 4 different parts to that. There's the agriculture part, there's the family life part, community and economic development, and then 4-H youth development. And I've had the privilege of working with 4-H youth development for actually the past 32 years. So I've really gotten to see a lot of young people be impacted by 4-H. 4-H first started here in Clark County back about 1920, and there were 19 4-Hers the first year. Over the years, the concept has never changed. We have special interest clubs, actually, that are similar to the ones many years ago. And so here in Clark County, like we have a jazz band, spin club, and we have about 250 kids who are in our traditional 4-H program. And we reach over 1,000 kids each year in the programs that we do with our schools. 4-H really helps kids discover their passion, and whether it be learning electricity, or whether it be flying a rocket, or learning photography, or livestock, whatever it might be. 4-H gives them the avenue to learn more about it and to excel in it, and really to develop their skills. And a lot of kids develop a career interest that's based on their success that they've had in 4-H in a particular area. 4-H is as relevant today as it was in 1920 when that first club was started here in Clark County. There's over 200 projects to choose from. A lot of people still think of 4-H as being an agriculture program. Well, if we relied on young people who lived on a farm, we wouldn't have many people enrolled in 4-H. So that's definitely not true. And I'm really proud of the Illinois 4-H program for the way that they have kept up with the technology as an important part of the 4-H program and the opportunities that they have, the competitions. And so 4-H is very relevant today. The most rewarding thing that I see by being a part of the 4-H program is just the opportunity to see young people come in and watch them find their passion and that light bulb come on for them, and then for them to become just a well-rounded individual, and to watch them be an active part of the community, whether it be at their high school level, whether it be here in Clark County, or whether it be someplace across the nation that they've gone on to. But we just have seen a lot of kids find their passion in 4-H.
There was a need to light the streets and the homes in the early or late 1800s. So in the 1890s, there was a company that had the Marshall Light and Power Company, and Lucole had bought them, and the city in 1903 bought the electric department. So it has been city owned since 1903. Marshall paid $13,000 for that system. If you had to put a value in of Marshall's electric system now, it would probably cost $10 million to start over and build, with all the conductors, the poles, the cross arms, and the transformers. There might have been 200 municipal-owned power companies in the early 1900s, but as employee costs rose and training rose, a lot of people couldn't afford to raise their rates, and they wanted to get rid of it. We're part of the IMEA, the Illinois Municipal Electric Agency, and there's 33 members in it, and there's 20 generating members. So there's not that many city-owned electric departments anymore. And there's I don't know if there's 80. I think there's around 80 or so gas operators and municipal-owned gas operators, but there's really not that many that have all four. So there's 15 guys down there now that have that are working for the city, and there's 8 up at City Hall. A few women, myself, and Dwayne Lau and Joel Sims are on the public works side. Our workers are very proud of what they do, and we're very proud of what they do as well. So for having as small a staff as we do, they get a lot done. So there's really a sense of personal pride with the workers when they're working on their mom's house, or helping their brother out, or helping a friend, or an old classmate or something. So the difference between Ameren and Marshall is that the fee in lieu of taxes goes back in to help pay for a lot of things that excuse me, makes Marshall beautiful. We did a streetscape project a few years ago, and the fee in lieu of taxes money went into the road fund to help pay our 20% of the streetscape project. And outside of Harlan Hall, you can see the sidewalks and the street lights and the curb and gutter that we did. So it really was a beautification project. People really enjoy coming to Marshall and seeing the downtown and seeing how beautiful it is. And we also completed the renovation of Harlan Hall. We added the HVAC system and did a lot of work on the windows and tuck pointed the outside of it. So this is our kind of our civic center, and as I like to call it, it's a parks for all ages. So the money is staying in the city, so their fees and their taxes is coming back in to benefit the streets and the police. So it's an amazing thing.
One of my goals has always been to start a foundation or start an endowment fund or something like that. But I think, and a lot of people feel the same way, but there's always that big barrier of money. You know, hey, we want to start a foundation, but you know, we don't have a lot of money just laying around. And I came across this model several years back, and it was actually started in Michigan, and it was called the 100 Women Who Care. And so we had an informational meeting early in 2015, shared the model with this core group of women, about 20 or so women. And most of them were like, this is too good to be true. This is too easy. There's got to be more red tape than this. There just has to be more to this. And we kept promising, no, it's simple, it's easy. Let's try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? Back in May of 2015, we had our first ever 100 Women Who Care Marshall meeting, and the women can come in either as individual supporters or as a team, and you're committing to $100 per meeting. It sounds like a lot of money, but to an individual, but it sounds even better when you collaborate and you put them all together. The goal is that you have 100 contracts or 100 women who care, giving $100 at every meeting to a nonprofit community organization that the group votes on. Meetings are super simple. You come in, you register, you get your voting slip and a nomination form. And then when everybody's there and everybody's registered, we draw three groups out. The women that nominated those groups are the ones that get to talk about the group, who they are, what they do, what they need. And then it's real easy. We all take out our nomination forms, we vote. While a couple of volunteers are counting the ballots, we do a really nice networking where we go around and we talk about what everybody's being involved in and any other events going on in the Marshall area. We come back and we announce the winner, and they receive the money. It's that simple. Everybody, as soon as the winner's announced, everybody pulls out their check, writes it directly to the nonprofit or community organization. $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 is huge to their budgets. And so I think the more meetings we have and we show women how easy it is, it just warms my heart. I wish I would have thought of it and tried to rally the troops sooner. There's also the potential for the gentlemen out there. We've heard of Guys Who Give chapters getting started, and a little fun competition between the men and the women in Marshall. We also have the vision of starting this model in the Marshall school systems, getting our kids thinking very early on about giving back to the community with their time, their treasures, and their talents.
In April of 1841, the group got together to form the first Congregational church here in Marshall. It started with 9 members, with Reverend Dean Andrews as the minister and C.M. Copen as the choir director. In 1843, they tried to build the first church, but was unsuccessful because they could not raise enough funds. The following year, they joined the Congregational Churches of Indiana. And then in 1850, they finally built the first church. It was at a cost of $1,500 on land donated to them by Colonel William B. Archer, the founder of the city of Marshall. Reverend Andrews asked to be relieved of his church duties in 1853, but later resumed them in 1865 until his death. The death was keenly felt by the citizens of Marshall. The second building was built under the leadership of Dana Sherrill in 1891 and dedicated the following year in 1892. It was to honor Reverend Dean Andrews. Our third church, the present building, was built in 1908, dedicated in 1909 under the leadership of Reverend A.W. Miles. The church has hosted several different events, one of the highlights being the burial or the funeral of the Gypsy Queen. Her family traveled through Marshall on their way west and liked Marshall. There were only 35 family members that returned for the funeral, but the church was so full of curious onlookers that the city police had to be used to clear a path to get the casket into the church. Folklore has it that her burial in Clark County is what prevents major storms from coming through the city of Marshall. During the following years, several ministers were present at the church. Reverend Bristow was present from 1927 until his death, and upon his death, his wife Maud was asked to be the minister. During that time, the pipe organ was purchased in memory of Roland Bristow. The pipe organ is still at the church. Also during this time, the choir loft was added to the front of the church. This was in 1935, and at the present day it is still as it was in 1935. During the building of this church, there was a cornerstone added to the church. There were pictures of the church, pictures of Reverend Dean Andrews and Colonel William B. Archer. In 2000, another time capsule was added in front of the church. Several items in it were buried under a stone to be opened in 2050. The church has beautiful stained glass windows in it, with most of them with names under the bottom of them, the members that formed the church or were major contributors to the church. In 1991, the church celebrated its 150-year celebration. The First Congregational Church of Marshall is on the National Registry for Historic Buildings. Today, there are family members still involved actively with the church of Albert Shaw and Mary Jane Shaw Bryant. My wife and I were married in this church in 1970, and she is a descendant of the Shaws. I wanted to tell the story of the First Congregational Church because of its historical value, and that as a member, I am very proud of the church.
My grandfather graduated from Marshall High School and went to the U of I, and then came World War I, and he went into the Army and became the commander at 21 years old of a tank corps in France. And he loved every minute of that command. Came home from the war and married his high school sweetheart, and they settled in a farm west of town. But he always, as a boy, wanted to be a farmer, but he never was really successful at farming. So he picked up and moved the family to St. Louis and started a career as a salesman. During this time, when he was raising his family was young, World War II broke out, and he felt the call to duty and brought his family back to Marshall and went off to World War II. This time he was enlisted in the military police in 1942, and he actually ended up in France, and he was second in command of a German prison camp there. When the war ended, he came back to Marshall, and his family was already settled in Marshall. His daughters would soon marry local boys and raise families here in Marshall. So he was all about family, and he settled in and began his service to his community. He ran a soil testing laboratory in his basement for years. Farmers brought him soil that he tested with chemicals to see what they needed to add to their soil for their crops every year and see what they were lacking. I seemed to always be in the basement with him washing test tubes, washing the mud out of test tubes, and was not my favorite job. But he would always, if I got my test tubes done, I was rewarded by helping him read the scores on the soil. He was a loyal and active member of the Marshall Lions Club. He promoted a young man in Marshall named Carol Mackey to get his seeing eye dog. He also promoted raincoats for the school safety patrol. He, every summer, was very faithful with the Lions Club lemonade stand at the fair. And every summer, my grandmother's kitchen was a disaster with lemons and making simple syrup. Also was the huge promoter of the Lions Club biggest project, which was the Marshall swimming pool. He was out there all the time making sure everything was done right, and he actually was the first manager of the pool. Another one of his biggest project was his grandchildren, his 4 grandchildren. He wanted us to experience many things in his lifetime. He sent us on a train with our aunt to Effingham. He wanted us to experience a train ride and a plane ride. Well, my grandmother took us to the Terre Haute Airport and put the 4 of us grandkids on a plane by ourselves, and we flew to St. Louis. And we were met there by my grandfather and our 2 mothers. So he was a great promoter of his grandchildren, experiencing all these things in his lifetime. He passed away from the stomach cancer in 1966 at the age of 69. The day of his services, the flags were lowered on all the public buildings in Clark County in remembrance of him. There is a tree planted at the Burnsides Nursing Home by the Illinois Region 7 Tourism in his memory, and it's still there with a plaque in memory of him. And I know he'll be remembered by all with a smile as a great civic leader. But I'll remember him as my best friend.
We are excited to sharing these stories with you, but what we will get more excited about is when those phones start ringing right now. We are serious. We need to hit 50 calls in the next few minutes.
We are up to 39 calls. That is excellent, but that is not good enough. We know Marshall has it in you to call. We need to get to 50. Who's going to be the first one?
I don't hear anything.
Can I give a shout out? Can I give a shout out to a couple people?
Absolutely.
Dan and Jesse Cruz.
Yay,
they're right here.
they're sitting right
there. Thank you so much. Darren and Sarah Lincoln.
Lycan?
They've been living in New York, New Jersey,
California,
but just moved back to home, Marshall. Wow, great is that? So they are watching. They're watching tonight, and they are calling in, and they're supporting the community that they live in. That's great.
But we're serious. We want people to continue that trend.
Yes.
Get those phones ringing right now, because nobody's on the phone right now. And Marshall, we know you've got it in you. And you get on those phones and you say, I want a copy of that program. In fact, I want one for my brother too.
Yes, and we've got some challenges. Somebody said, if you have ever went to the swimming pool and swam in that pool, you need to call tonight. If you have ever gone to the VFW and sang with Big Mike, the karaoke, you need to call right now. There you go.
There you go, Mike.
If you have ever played bingo at Harlan Hall or any other place, I know my mom would be calling if she lived in Marshall right now, because she loves it.
If you were ever involved in the school district, the school board, as a teacher, as a student, you give us a call.
That's going to get our phone going. If that doesn't get our phone going, I don't know what. If you, Marshall Band, if you've been a part of the community band or the high school band or the junior high band, we want you to call. Also, did I say TRW?
Yes, that was the first one you mentioned.
I did say that.
I have another one. We have 3 members of the Zion Church here tonight.
Okay.
We're giving a shout out to that, but we're also giving a challenge. If you are a member of the Zion Church, Dan Cruz asked us to give a shout out to you and to give you the challenge to call in tonight. 4-H, his wife told the story just a few minutes ago about 4-H. Jesse is really involved in 4-H. If you were ever involved in 4-H, whether as a child or whether as an adult, you give us a call right now. These are challenges we're putting out to Marshall. Let's see who's going to come through.
Something I learned from Jessie when she told her story, I didn't know a lot about 4-H. I was involved as a child, but I didn't know. There is so much cool stuff going on in 4-H. The education value is amazing.
Absolutely.
So
It's
that's
not
cool.
just about livestock. There is so many more things that you can learn through 4-H. So if you were ever involved in 4-H, be sure to give us a call. Also, one other thing that's huge in Marshall is the Clark County Fair. So if you ever went to that fair, and I'm sure several of you did, you make sure that you give us a call right now.
If you've ever eaten a funnel cake, did you see the funnel cake on that?
Yeah,
it was
tasty.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm
So,
going this year.
The most important thing is if you love Marshall, if you love that there's a story, a 2-hour program just about it, let us know. Let's throw it over to Kelly. I bet you she's got something to talk about.
Oh, I always have something to talk about, and I do love Marshall. I tell you what, if you're a member of the St. Mary's Parish like me, give us a call. If you've ever enjoyed Mill Creek Park or Lincoln Trail State Park, or went to the band concert on a Friday night, on a warm summer night to hear the bands play in the beautiful gazebo up on the courthouse square, give us a call. But things are just way too quiet. Big Mike is sitting next to me. He's giving me that look over his cheater glasses, like, why are you talking about me? Give us a call. Put Mike to work and tell him how much you enjoy the program. Marshall, this is our story. Jesse Cruz is on the phone, I'm sure, talking to a pal of hers from Marshall, but we'd like to hear from you. You know, I've worked on all of the programs that we've produced, the Our Stories here at WEIU, and we've been to several communities. And every time we produce a program and show a program like this, inevitably we get more than 100 calls. So we need you tonight to call and support Marshall. This is our story, telling us that you support your local PBS station, which is us, WEIU in Charleston. Jana, Kian, over to you.
Well, I want to follow in Kelly's footsteps and really ask you to take this seriously tonight. This is the only place you are able to get a copy of this program. Marshall, this is our story. It's documenting history. It's from the people that you live with and work with and that are your friends and family. And they put in their personal stories. We've shared hugs with them and tears with them and laughs with them. And I'll tell you, this is something so special that they have contributed to your community. And this is the only place to get a copy of it is by giving us a call right now and asking for a copy. You can get more than one if you like. One copy is $75. More than one is $60 each. You may think, I don't know what to get my dad for Father's Day. This is a great gift. You may think, what am I going to get for someone this Christmas? It's not that far away. These are wonderful gifts that people will treasure for years to come. So don't miss out. Give us a call right now. Jana, over to you.
Thanks, Ken. There are a lot of good reasons to give. There is nothing better than giving back to your community. Who else would do a program like this if WEIU didn't do it? I can answer that for you right now. There's no one that's going to do it. WEIU takes our community and our viewers very seriously. This is what we should do as a PBS station. This is what we're doing. Marshall is our number 5. We've done 5, including this one. Marshall is so important to us, but I know it's important to you. Rhett's on the phone, Kim's on the phone, and we have some other phone operators. They've been sitting here. They came in tonight because they wanted to celebrate Marshall. We want you to celebrate with us. We've had so much fun tonight. If you're out there and you've been watching the program and any of those stories have meant something to you, give us a call right now. $75. We would love to send you a DVD of the program. 2 hours, 38 storytellers, all about Marshall.
Absolutely. We asked for 50 calls going into this break, and I know you can do it. There's lions in Marshall, so let's roar right now because we need these phones roaring. We need this studio roaring. We were excited earlier, and we need to get that excitement back in here. And Marshall, folks, you've got it in you. You got fight over there, and we want to see it tonight.
If you call right now, you'd be able to talk to Jesse Cruz or Big Mike. Oh my gosh, Big Mike is waiting. I don't think he's talked on the phone yet tonight. So right now, we need 2 people to call. Big Mike would answer, and so would Jesse, and then it goes on farther down the line. Give us a call right now. The number's on your screen.
Speaking of friends of Kelly, Ann and Corey Sheehy called in tonight, and Ann is the daughter of Larry Yargus and part of Yargus Manufacturing, and Corey was also a storyteller and talks about city utilities. So thank you so much for calling in tonight. I also want to say thank you to Deb Harper from Marshall.
Okay. Big Mike is sitting right there waiting on a call. So Dan Cruz, take your phone off the hook. Okay. Right now, you want to call and talk to Mike. His phone is going to ring. Come on, pick up the phone, give us a call.
Yeah.
We want you to support this program.
We were talking about challenges earlier. If you sang karaoke with Mike at the VFW, or if you want to, schedule it right now because he's waiting to take your call. But more importantly, he's waiting to take your call to get a copy of tonight's program. We put out all those different challenges. If you were a part of 4-H, if you've ever been to the swimming pool, the Clark County Fair, if you're a part of Zion Church, if you've ever worked at TRW, if you've ever worked at Velsico, which Kay over there told me earlier was the bread and butter of Marshall for so many years. Her dad and Ken Smith's dad worked there, as well as Ken Smith, who was also a previous mayor of Marshall. So all of these different things, we're putting that challenge out to you. So give us a call right now.
Give us a call. We're going to send it over to Kelly. Let's get that phone to ring, okay?
I wish, and I want to thank Ann and Corey Sheehy for calling in and supporting Marshall. This is our story, and Yargus Manufacturing for being a proud supporter of Marshall. This is our story. Without underwriters like you, we would not be able to produce tonight's program. So again, let's give this guy, every time I come on the air and talk, Big Mike kind of ignores me. He's sitting there diligently watching his phone, hoping it will ring. So again, call us in support tonight. As I mentioned before, when we've produced programs on other communities, we've had the ability to reach and touch the hearts of more than 100 people by phone calls and by calling in and saying that they would like to capture and to take part in this program and to have a DVD for years to come. And so that's what we need you to do. Our phones, there's a lot of activity in the studio tonight, but not a lot of phones ringing. So please call us with your call of pledging your support to get a DVD to Marshall. This is our story. Keanne?
Keanne?
Oh, sorry. I'm talking to Damien over here, and Damien is one of our storytellers. He talks about the St. Mary's Church, but Damien also has roots that go way back in Marshall, don't you, Damien?
Yes, my great-great-grandfather came and founded Castle Finn, which was founded before the actual area of Marshall. He lived there in 1830s, and Marshall was not founded until 1835. So our roots go way back. So some of those old timers, why don't you give us a call, and you might find a lot of things on this DVD that you didn't know about Marshall.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Damien. If your roots go that far back, I know there are a lot of people that have had connections with some members of his family, and he's just given you a challenge right there because his father was a part of history, his great-grandfather. Lots of people in your family have been a part of Marshall. If you know Damien, give him a call right now. He's sitting there waiting for your call. Jana, over to you.
I hear the phone ring, and we had 7 people waiting for a call. Now we're down, so we need 6 people right now. Who's it going to be? We need 6. Who's going to be number 1? Give us a call right now. So important to support this program. If you love Marshall, this program is for you. For a gift of $75 to your public broadcasting station, WEIU, a gift of $75, and we'd love to send you a DVD. A lot of people are buying 2. They're giving the donation of $120. Hey, we got somebody called in. A donation of $120 will get you 2 DVDs of this great program. 38 people from Marshall have told stories.
Well, we're up to 44. We have 6 more to go yet. We can do it, people.
We're almost to 50.
I have some shout outs here. Sarah Burdick from Marshall. She's giving a DVD to Dolores Maurer, which is her mother.
Perfect.
And Debbie Montgomery from Marshall.
Thank you.
Susan Jansen from Watseka, Illinois.
Wow.
So thank you all for calling in tonight and getting a copy of this special program.
Everybody who's called so far tonight, we really want to sincerely thank you. We cannot thank you enough. Where are we right now as far as numbers?
44.
We're at 44. We've got several more people on the phone. We still need you to call. If you are enjoying this program, please call us tonight. We can talk till we're blue in the face, but you need to get on the phone and call us, and we so much appreciate it, and you're going to be glad you did. People have asked, how long does it take to get the DVD? Actually, we wait till after this weekend, and then we will order them. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get them, and immediately they'll be sent to you.
I have another thank you, Gary Strom with the Marshall Advocate. You've given us a lot of press for this program. Thank you for calling in and making this an important night. We also have someone from Oak Lawn, Illinois, who called in and got a copy of the program. So we're up to 46. We need 4 more callers. 4 more callers. You can do it, Marshall. 4 more callers.
You know, it's quiet right now. Okay. Rhett's I don't know what's going on
She
with
needs
Rhett.
some help back there. I think she needs some help answering
I'll
questions.
talk to her and you talk to them.
All right, we'll do that. So it's you and me, Marshall, right here, or anyone who's watching the program anywhere around the world. If you want to support Marshall Storytellers, residents from Marshall, someone you grew up with who's part of this program, give us a call right now. We have people sitting here over in the living room area who's participating in tonight's program, drove over from Marshall to spend the evening with us because they want to make sure that you know this is an important program. There you are right there on television. We have a fake living room, but I'll tell you what, it feels like home tonight because we made a lot of friends in Marshall, Illinois.
Hey, that person wants to give a gift, but they don't want a DVD. They just know that this is important and they want to give a monetary gift, and they said, send me an envelope or a bill and I'll contribute. So
That's
that
very nice.
is wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, there may be people out there that, you know, they don't need the DVD, but they've watched tonight and they appreciate the program. So you can do that as well.
There's all kinds of different ways that you can support folks from Marshall, Illinois tonight in this studio. Those are some ways you can do it.
Sure.
But if you want to just call in and just tell them thank you, we're enjoying the program, that's okay too. But what we really want you to do is be able to support the program, support this through any support that you can give tonight. If it's one DVD of $75, if it's more than one at $60 each, then feel free to give us a call right now. I think we have some more shout outs here that we need to say thank you.
Erin Murphy, she's from Champaign. She's the daughter of Brian Murphy, which is in the house. She is the niece of Mary Jane and Larry Bender, and both of them were storytellers tonight, so
and they're
thank
smiling
you.
over on the other side.
I wish we could get a picture of her right now.
Oh, Rocco, there they are.
There they are. Wave to everybody.
You.
Thank you so much, Aaron, for calling. Jeff Jones from Charleston. Now let's talk about him for about 2 seconds. He is a supporter of this program. He's Amy's husband, who's in the house tonight, and he loves this so much he wants to support it. So see, it's just not Marshall people. People from Charleston appreciate the program as well. So thank you, Jeff. Really appreciate it.
Big Mike, did you ever get a call? No? No? Okay, Big Mike's still sitting there. So how many are we up to now?
We're up to 48.
We need two more calls
people
right now, and we'll get back to the show. We need 2 more phones.
Okay, whatever phone rings, let Big Mike, you answer and let Mike talk, okay? Is that the deal? Okay, right now, call us. We need 2 more people. Let's get over that 50 mark. So important to give back to the station. We loved every minute of producing Marshall, This Is Our Story. We met some great people, lots of great people, and this has been a treasure for us, and we will always remember meeting all these people, and we want you as a viewer to be able to have this history of your community.
You won't want to miss out. We just need 2 more calls right now. We'll get you back to the show. If you've been sitting there waiting for it to continue, just give us 2 more calls right now. Here's one of them right here. Carol Sullivan from Brockton, Illinois.
Wow.
Very cool. Okay, there it is right there.
Number
We're at
50.
50 right there.
Big Mike, get over there.
Awesome. Big Mike, take that call right there. So we're going to get back to the show. Don't go anywhere. Keep those calls coming in, but we'll be here for another, another hour or so?
We're going to be here for another hour. Keep on calling.
So keep on calling. We're going to get back to the show right now.
Thank you.